Hello everyone. Today I will show you how we are going to maintain the versioning for REST APIs. So here this tutorial will help you to understand that why versioning is needed and how we can version our REST APIs. So we will look at the there are four ways of versioning, and we'll also compare the different approaches that how we're going to implement those things. So what you are going to learn today actually basically in this tutorial, that why do we need versioning for RESTful web services. The second point is are the what are the versioning options that are available, and how do we implement versioning for RESTful web services. Okay, so these are the the things that you will learn today. So here first of all we need to create one Spring Boot project from initializer and then import your favorite editor. The project structure, you will see that this is the project structure. This project, like previously also I've added some project over here, like the beans, different types of bean scope and command line runner interface. These are the over here already. Here in this the existing project, I will also add this the maintaining the version, that how we're going to maintain the version of any RESTful web services. So this is the kind of structure actually. Okay, so this is now if we talked about that uh, so this is the before that, this is the like launching path, launching main areas, that whenever you are going to run this Spring Boot application, so this class act as a launching point for this application. Okay, so this will be the run first of all. Okay, now if we talk this pom.xml, so this actually contains all the dependencies that are need to build the project. So as you can see over here, we have added all the necessary dependencies over here, which are basically need to run this application. So now if we talked about the tools, like Maven we have used, then Java 17 I have used, and your favorite editor, whatever the your favorite, like IntelliJ or maybe like Eclipse, so those your favorite edit that we can add over here. So now if we talked about that, like why do we need to version our RESTful APIs? The best approach to version is not to do it. Why? Because like if there is a no need, then why you are going to implement the versioning, right? Because uh, do not version do not version as long as the version is not needed. Build your services, like whatever the existing services currently we are having, try to maintain the backward compatibility so that you can avoid versioning as much as possible. However, there are a number of situations where versioning is needed. Let's talk about one example over here. Let's say there is a like address service. Okay, now there is a which will return only address, and particularly the single field it contains all the addresses, like address 1, address 2, all the address it will return. Now let's say another client required that they need all the address in separate field. Let's say address 1, for address 1 there's a separate field, for address 2 there will be separate field. So they need different types of field for different types of addresses, but this is not possible to in a single service, right? If we want to achieve in a single service, then maybe we will appear certain complexities, so better to version maintain over here. So we need to like split some address into multiple addresses, so that I will show you that how we are going to support this one, how we are going to implement this one. So let's create simple demo kind of applications where we are going to understand four different approaches to versioning our RESTful services. Okay, before that, as I mentioned, like implementing their services, you need to handy this Spring Boot project, which will import it into your Eclipse editor so that you guys can easily do the things. Okay, now the like what we are going to create over here for the app, like versioning maintain things, versioning approaches for the RESTful services, like what we are going to create two DTOs. One will return address v1 and the other one will return address v2. Okay, now the approach is to URI versioning. Okay, so what is the URI versioning? So create some let me create some like DTOs over here. like address v1. So how it will be look like? So let me first of all create one package over here. Okay, dot API dot version. Okay, so this is the address v1. You can see that there is only single field address. Now if we see the address v2, so here basically we are keeping another address nested DTO which will have two another fields, subfields, actually nested fields. Now if we look this address, actually address 1 and the address 2, we can keep multiple fields also over here. Okay, so you can see this address version 2 having the another address, nested address, which will having different types of addresses over here. Now we need to create the controller to demonstrating this one. So let me create new class over here, address versioning controller, and we need to annotate this particular class with REST controller, right? So that it will be treated as a like REST APIs. Now we are going to create get mapping. So as we are like going to maintain this versioning for URI mapping, so for both versioning the path will be different, separate one, right? And here the path will be v1 address. Okay, this one the path for this one. And next is to version 2. So for versioning 2, actually as you can see over here, so this is the path for this v1 address and this is the path for this v2 address. V1 address return this address v1, and address v1, and it will return this address v2. Okay, and as you can see we are returning this new address v2, this new address 1. So the path will be for this like http colon double slash localhost 8080 slash v1 slash address. So it will return this view address v1, and this will return address v2. Okay, now we can start this application so that we can see that how this URI versioning is working, and from the postman we can check actually. Okay, so let's start this application. So let me start this application. So from here basically we can start this application. So once it will start, then from the postman we can call this particular URL with different two URLs, and we'll see that the different types of output is coming, so that we can share to the both different clients, right? So that means it will, in this way basically we can do the versioning for URI pattern. So let it start this Spring Boot application. So this is actually like approach one that we are going to using this. Okay, now it got started. Okay, let me open this postman over here. So as you can see, I have used this localhost 8080 v1 address. So once it will call, then it will return the address in a single line. Okay, this line, right? Now, so as you can see, this is coming in a single address line. But if I use this version 2 over here, then it will return the address in multi-line, like address, then it's a nested address 1 and the address 2. Okay, so you can see the difference, the version 1 and the version 2. This is the difference. So this is the one of the approach for maintaining the version. The second approach is to request parameter versioning. Okay, so over here like we are going to pass some parameters, and based on the parameter we can do the maintaining the versioning of this one. Okay, so how we are going to doing this, let me show you that how we can create this one. So for that we are going to create another uh, like this. Let me copy this one. Okay, so here I'm going to like instead of this v1 address or this something like that, let me view add address, and then address, then here it will be a param, like we are passing as a parameter over here. And here over here in the here we are going to use some keyword like this params. Okay, like this value equals to this and params comma params. Okay, and here we are going to pass this version equals to 1. Okay, and it will be a param v1. Obviously, let's say rename it as param v1. So similar, the it will be, let me delete this URL. Okay, and it will be a version 2 and it will be param version 2. Okay, so here as you can see we are passing this version 1 and version 2. So how we are going to now check this one? So as you can see, these are the two that is used for this maintaining the version with the parameter. Like that parameter we are passing from the, like whenever we are calling this particular service, so from there we are going to call. So let open the postman, and from over here, like this one. Okay, so let me, so as you can see the URL is localhost 8080 address, then param, and version 1 we are passing. This is the one parameter. So now if we are passing this version 1, so it's match with this one, this version 1, and it returning this address v1. Now instead of that, if we passing the parameter version as 2, okay, now it will return, basically it will return this nested, means the version 2 one. So in this way that versioning will work with this parameter. So this is the basically second approach. The third approach will be the custom header versioning. Okay, so here we are going to add some request header for different version. Like maybe let's say there's a version parameter and we are passing this version as a header. So how we are going to write this one for that? So for that we are going to write something like that. Let me like add some to another one. Okay, so here let me copy this one. Let me copy this. So here as you can see, so instead of this param, as we are going to maintain the version in a header, and here instead of params, basically here there is another parameter like that is called headers, and here headers will be version 1. Okay, version 1, and it will be like header, let's say it's a v2. So it's a for v2 because we are passing this address v2 over here. So let me copy for v1 also, header v1, it will be v1, and the return type will be this one, right? This one. Okay, and it will be address v1. I hope it's clear now, right? Now let me save this one, then we will check from the postman once it will start. It will start, looks like. Okay, now we are passing that in a header basically. So in a header basically you can see in a header we are going to pass this version. Okay, here in the header section as you can see params, authorization, and the headers. So from over here header section we are going to pass this version, like version is 1. Okay, so for version 1 it is the return type, it is the like response structure, and if it is a version 2 then the response structure will be nested one, this one. Like, so this is the approach using the header. So as far as we have learned three approaches. First one is the based on the URI differentiation. Second one is the based on the like params, and third one is the based on the header version. The last option, the fourth option, is to like that is the media type versioning. Okay, so that also I will show you that how you're going to like use this the media type versions. So for that let me open the Eclipse over here, and here we need to write the another API which will maintain this one. Okay, so for that let me add this one. So here there is a concept of the producers which will like this one. Okay, here you can see address, producers, and this application and v1. This v1 actually basically we need to pass from the content type, and for the version, this is for the version 1, and let me same do for this version 2. Here version 2 it again will be a version 2, and instead of this we are return this one. Okay, and it will be a version 2. Okay, so now let me save this one, and I will show you that from where basically I will pass this application content type. Okay, so let me clean this one, and here, so now from here in the header section you can see that content type here, yeah, accept. Okay, so over here you can see that we are passing this application b1 from over here, so that will be matches from the producers. Okay, so now if we pass this, so you can see this is returning this the version 1 response. Now instead of this v1, if I change to v2, so it will return the version 2 response. Okay, so these are the approaches that I have explained over here, 4 approaches over here basically. So using this we are going to maintain the version of our REST APIs, right? So this is the thing that we can use for versioning. I hope it's clear now. Like I have explained all the things from the postman, given the demonstration. So hope it's clear. But still, if you guys have any doubts or anything, please do let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Please press the bell icon for further notification. Thanks for your time. See you in my next videos. Bye bye.